Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. A little while ago I created a brand new island called Crumpet with the idea that this is going to be a British inspired island, and it is finally time to get to the entrance build. One of my favorite builds of a whole island because it just gets you excited for the rest of it. Don't forget to like and also subscribe if you want to see more from this island, and let's get into the build. So this is the entrance area. As you can see, I've already tried to map out the kind of design that I'm going for using these lovely codes. I love this path design. I don't tend to use many kind of city designs, so this is my kind of compromise. I didn't want it too much of a city road, and I do love these white tiles. I think they're gorgeous, so fingers crossed this will make for a beautiful city entrance. So my main idea for this whole area is to make it into like an alleyway, like a city alleyway, like a bustling city. So for that, I'm going to need to add some height. And then I realized as soon as I had done that, that I was actually going to need to expand this place out a bit. I think I do underestimate how big an area you need for like city builds and structure builds, which is why I'm not very good at planning them, and which is why city builds scare me so much because I don't have the patience to sit there and count everything out. But yes, I quickly placed down all of this path and we got on our way, ready to build this city. For a city, of course, you need to add some height to your build, so this is why I am adding in the cliffs. I thought, I'm not sure how big that I want them for now, but whilst I was trying to do this, trying to decide, we did get attacked by a chicken, and I did try and push them out of the way, but it kind of worked, kind of not, but at least she was gone. She decided that I'm not messing with her anymore, I'm going to leave her be. But yeah, I wasn't sure how close I wanted the cliffs to be to the road, because when you're doing this, you kind of have to think about, okay, so we're going to have the edge of the cliff, and then we're going to have the item, and then we're going to have maybe a stool or some other pieces of furniture, and then we're going to have the road. So you really need to think maybe a few squares back, and that will work better. So for like here, in the end I did decide to go for 3, and I think this was the perfect amount to make it feel cluttered, but also kind of like this has like space. It just didn't feel too kind of open, which is what I want it to be. I want it to be a bustling kind of city area. And then I did decide to go for the grey medieval building sides. I've never used this variation, never ever, and I actually quite like it. I've used the kind of the browny ones before, but I feel like for a city it's quite grey, and this one will work nicely. And I also feel like this colorway will complement like the blues and the reds that I'm going to try and incorporate into this whole island, because obviously those are the color of the British flag and a lot of other flags, but that is the kind of color that we're going for. And the simple panels, I tried to keep them kind of the same. These are, I believe, they're mostly all by the same creator. I just had a little bit of a struggle deciding what pattern, what way that I wanted them, and then I did layer them. So we have got the decorative pillars, and then we have got some plant partitions, and I also wanted the Turkey Day stand because I love that item, and this time I'm using it in grey. Normally I always go for white, but to make it feel a bit more like city-ish, I guess, then we're going for the grey. And also I think it ties it in nicely with the medieval back building sides. And then I was like, oh, we can add in more. There is another kind of gap here, so I added in the wood partition, but yeah, that just caused a whole kind of havoc because I was trying to find my plant partitions again, because I did also have the white, but I didn't want it to feel like a clean city, which if I did, then I would definitely go with all white. And then I did decide to add in the triangular topiaries. I did decide to change them out later because they needed more height. There was a bit of a gap. And then Elise was here as well. I had all the villagers today, and all I was trying to do was just push this stool, and she just kept getting in the way. So annoying. And then something wasn't quite right, and I think this is the moment where I realized, yes, this is where we need to move them out. And then the gap there, the way that I thought, oh, if we just have the little triangle topiary, because I do prefer them over the round topiaries, but yeah, I think the round topiaries are definitely better for the height. My community did decide to call these the posh bushes. They were like, why don't you add the posh bushes? I'm like, I don't know what that is, but yeah, posh bushes. And then I didn't realize that the lilies actually hit face forward, so I had to turn that around as well. But yeah, this trying to find a stool that worked with this whole scheme was a little bit hard as well. If you're wondering why I placed the red fire hydrant, that is a nod to Danny, aka Canada Crossing, as well, because we did it a collab once, and it was, I can't remember what the collab was, but he ended up doing like a build, like a British, oh, the theme was British summer, I think. And he ended up doing like a British park, and he put down fire hydrants, and he was like, no one had the heart to tell him that we don't have fire hydrants until afterwards, of course. So yeah, fire hydrants are forever now going to be in my Animal Crossing cities, especially when they're British themed, just to pay homage to that. It was cute though. So this stall, I did decide I wanted it to be like a newspaper stall, because I feel like you find them occasionally sometimes. I don't think they're as kind of popular in the UK as they are on like mainland Europe. I feel like when I went to Croatia, they were like everywhere, these little stalls that had like sold drinks and newspapers and stuff and tobacco, and we don't have them as much here, but they're kind of cute, and I feel like it might be, maybe it's like a little newsagents instead. The flags, you may have seen me put one down earlier, but they are cute. So this is me shouting for joy, waving my flag. I just had to have a little bit of an intermission there. And obviously the red foam boxes, they are a staple as well. They are very British. They are very iconic, so we have to get them in. And this isn't a trash can, okay? That was a post box. So we have red post box in the UK. So maybe that's why everything is kind of red. So we have red post boxes, and that's the closest thing that I could find. And that little kind of stamp on it is like the royal seal, which you also find on post boxes as well. So I was trying to tie that in. This is me kind of editing out how big I wanted the cliffs to do. At this point, I was trying to make it like symmetrical on the other side. And for this, I decided that I was going to chop it down a little bit. This was a mistake. Don't do this, because if you decide to do this, you will only regret it later, because you will have to build it up again just to put more items on top. And you will see what I mean later, but it's annoying. I don't know why I decided to do this. I decided to chop it down knowing that it would make it harder for me to place items up there to rotate, and this is me trying to do that right now. In reality, this took me a lot longer because I have edited it down, but I did try and place some on the corners. If I had decided to go deeper, I could have probably got another kind of building on top, but in the end, because there wasn't much space, I just decided to push down, have one wall. So yeah, it will look a bit flat if you look at it from another angle, but forward facing it will look fine, and I'm not too mad about that. Maybe I will adjust it later, but yeah, for now I'm just happy to have it in this way, and hopefully it will look okay. And then I came across another conundrum. What was I gonna do? Because the top cliffs are 5 wide, the bottom cliffs are 6 wide, so we have an issue. So again, this probably comes down to poor planning on my behalf. If I had thought about it better and measured it out better, then I wouldn't have this problem, but we do have this problem. So we are putting a pillar in the middle just to kind of hide it a little bit. And don't ask me why I went for the alarm clock, but in my head it was like you know when you have those posh buildings and they have clocks on, that's what I was going for. So this is me trying to replicate everything I did on the right side, on the left side. Hopefully, in theory, this should be easier now because I've done it once. And I think it was because I had mapped out, I knew how big I wanted it to go. My only downside for this now is that because I'm going to replicate it on what I've done on the right side, the left side is going to leave me with a little bit of an awkward space. As you can kind of see here, as I'm putting down the path, I don't know what I'm going to do with that area now. So I'll have to try and think about it, maybe do like a seating area on the other side. But either way, I wish it kind of, that was the end of the island, but that would be a very close airport to the edge of the island, so that wouldn't work. Yeah, so here we are, more medieval building sides, more decorative pillars, and we will just change it up slightly. This is me trying to measure it out because in my head, it didn't look right, and it wasn't right, and I couldn't figure out why, and there we have it. It just needed that little tiny movement, and now it's equal. Sometimes I don't notice when I'm building when things aren't like equal. I don't know if other people do this when they aren't spread out properly, when they aren't symmetrical, and then it'll be like 3 days later and I'll come back and look at a build and I'll be like, dang it, that's not equal. And then you have to go through all the effort of making it right, or you can just leave it. I mean, if you can deal with it, if you're kind of like organizedness can deal with like it being off, then that's fine. But sometimes it will really just bug me and I can't ignore it. So yeah, this was a lot easier this time because I knew to leave it a bit wider, and then I didn't have to worry about how kind of tall it was going to be. This also is a problem. I don't know what people do when they use these types of paths. So this path has kind of like an inverted part, as you can see, where it goes onto the brick, the grey darker brick from the white brick on the corners. So what do you do when there is, I don't want it to go onto the grey corner, and that's the only corner that I have? So I'm just gonna have to try and hide it, I think. Maybe place something on top of it when I do want to do that. But that's kind of one of the things that does put me off this kind of path, because it makes it so hard to see how it kind of flows, I think, in my head. I did get shouted at because I had the path all really unneatly laid out in my inventory, but I have changed it now. I swapped it all around, and I was very surprised how many people on stream didn't realize that you can move around your custom designs. Honestly, I like to have mine organized, and you don't have to do it when you save them straight away, because I made the error of not expanding my custom designs before I did go code shopping. So yeah, you can do that if you want to. And then yes, we got in some more pillars. I had to just move around this steel trash can because it just wasn't enough space. And then we have another stool. And for this stool, I think what we're going to do is turn it into an umbrella stool. Lauren, aka Corey Doon, came up with this idea, which is very apt because right now it is raining in the game, and it rains a lot in Britain. I know it rains a lot of other places in the world, but yeah, definitely rains a lot in Britain too. And so for that, I definitely got some umbrellas saved. I have got some of the what are they called? The umbrella stands, I think they're called, to place down as well. And then as you can see, I popped down the cash register as well, just to try and fit all of these in. Luckily, I didn't. This umbrella that I managed to pick up was a pretty good one. Some of the umbrellas you get from Nooks Cranny are not good, so I got really lucky this time because I didn't have any others. But yeah, I'm just trying to kind of push everything in, trying to make it feel nice and cluttered. I also added in some boots, which were supposed to be like Wellington boots or rain boots as you call them, and then I did add in the ABD as well. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to add in a utility pole as well, and also the OK Motors sign, but here is some clips of what it looks like. So there we have it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm definitely not done with this whole area, and I'm really excited to do this theme. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, a little bit challenging, but hopefully a lot of fun. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.